My name's Brett. I lived at the Purdue Honors Storms last year. I'm going to be an upcoming sophomore, but I just wanted to share my experience living there. And I took a few videos there that I just wanted to compile together in this video for you guys. So, yeah. Hi, Honors North? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so here's the room tour. We have our door. This is the fire escape plan, emergency information. We have our lights. It's a button switch. They're a bit funky. It takes a second for them to turn on once you actually hit the button. Yeah, I don't know. I know some people have issues with them, but not us personally. And then they're also dimmable to a certain extent. Using that. Here is the thermostat. You can choose the fan mode, high, low, medium. Yeah. You can make it cooling or heating. Change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Go up or down. Here's all that, and then there you have a little fire alarm. I actually don't. Yeah, no sprinklers in the room, but I don't know if it's very feasible. And then as we make our way on further into the room, we got one closet, two closet, third closet. So supposedly this is supposed to be a 4-person room, but they only provided us with 3 closets, which is interesting to say the least. I'd say it's around, like, for reference, I am a 5'10" male, so it's like maybe double my arm length or so. But yeah, you got a rod, a little shelf on top, and then you got a bunch of space on there, which is, you know, I'm being occupied by a bunch of random stuff. So yeah, it's just a closet. It'd be nice if there were 4 of them, but there's this I don't even know what this is, but there's a vent right there. So this roommate currently is having a pretty tough time because that air is blowing onto him. So our room setup right now is pretty cool, but I don't know if I would suggest it for everyone, but he can tolerate it, so what can we do? Other things, trash. You know, obviously we haven't taken out the trash in a minute, and only 2 people in the room out of the 4 really do, but there's 1 trash can. Let's see where the other one is. There's a 2nd trash can, and then there is a 3rd trash can. Those came with the room. And then I can show you where you go to take out the trash. Here, do a little time lapse. So yeah, that's the walk. It's not too far, you know, but it's too hard for some people, apparently. Not trying to dog on anyone, but that's just the way it happens. Bunk beds, that's, if you're coming to honors, your beds are probably bunked. There's the other one. Also, when we were coming into the room, my roommates had some choice decorations, so you know, you can form your own opinion on that. But so we have our beds. These 2 roommates, I don't actually know. He has a mattress cover like a extra squishy bit at the top, so it's more comfortable, and he does too. They're like maybe an inch or two thick. They're honestly not that uncomfortable. I wouldn't say that like you should go over the top and get those like bed extenders or like a really thick mattress topper, as that'll just cause more inconvenience, to be honest. But yeah, you see there's a bed rail at the top, so the person on top doesn't fly out or fall out while sleeping. This roommate doesn't have it, but come over here. This roommate has one of these bedside kind of table like storage things, which is nice because if you want to drink water while you're sleeping, you gotta get all the way down if you don't have that. So, and these are the stairs to get up. It's not super tall. I'm about 5'10", and that's where my head lands, so maybe like kind of just a few feet. And then you got some space underneath to put some other miscellaneous items. I know that you can put your suitcases if you use suitcases to move in, or just we got a box for a monitor there. Our room layout is we moved it around a lot because this is what worked best for us, because we liked having this open space, and then we also ended up getting this punching bag, just for fun. But yeah, this is the room layout we have. This is the fridge. I mean, this is like I don't know the size, but it's like a 4-foot fridge or so, I think. And then we put our microwave on top, and then I have the kettle. It's kind of a pain because something like, I don't think this room layout was supposed to be intended, like they weren't expecting it, so the outlets are all like jumbled up, so we have to use extenders and stuff. So we got this extender, which we have our fridge and microwave and kettle plugged into, which I don't know is very safe, but I mean, it works. If it works, it works. In our fridge, to be honest, all we have is like yogurt in there and like leftovers that don't really get eaten. So you could honestly go for a smaller fridge, especially if you don't have 4 people like us, but it really depends on what kind of person you are or your kid is. So we got the desks. They're just regular desks. They have this topper, which you can't really take off unless you really want to get in there and take out like a bunch of screws and stuff, but technically you're not even allowed to take it off. So there's that. And like all of us have our own like computer setups and stuff, so it's kind of a pain if you're trying to set up a monitor or anything. I think this is I'd like to say 24-inch monitor, and it barely fits in there, so yeah, keep that in mind. This upper part is pretty nice for storing things. I mean, you got your drawers, just regular drawers. They're not soft closing or anything, but it'll get the job done and store things. And you gotta get your rocking chair if you're in a dorm. If you know. And then chairs aren't they're pretty comfortable, I guess. And the rocking is nice if you're trying to watch a movie or something, And this room is pretty spacious. I mean, if you keep in mind that this is like, I don't know, the dimensions are listed on the website, but I mean, you could fit maybe like 5 of these in here if you really wanted to, but thank God they didn't. We have our racing simulator here, which really ended up being storage for my pants, but we built this at the beginning of summer, and then we used it maybe a few times, but it's honestly a cool accessory to have. But yeah, we have our windows. These guys over here don't really get out of bed until like noon, so they keep it closed because they don't want all the sunlight. But You know, it's just like your normal like twist to shut and then twist to open, and they can go up. And then you can open your windows if it's nice out, but keep in mind it's West Lafayette, Indiana, so it's like April, but it's kind of cold outside. So some other random things about the room. The floors are linoleum, I don't know, tile, but so you don't have to worry about carpet. But I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty scuffed up just from all the chairs moving around and stuff. But I don't think scuffing up the floors is a charge at the end of the day, because you know, it's like you can't move these chairs without scuffing up the floor. I mean, look, you can see that there's like a pattern there just from me going in and out of my desk. Yeah, I don't know why, but this desk, it didn't come with one of the topper things, and I was the first one in the room, so I called dibs. But I think that chair's a bit nicer, and the second guy in the room got that. So yeah, it's just last thing, I guess, before I start talking about like packing for your room is, you know, you got your closets, or what am I saying, your dresser. There's three drawers. They're pretty deep. I mean, yeah, I could store all those pants out there in here if I wanted to, but it's kind of a pain to put them away. And I mean, you obviously got your rocker chair and people not putting their clothes away. So, and obviously we haven't cleaned our room or made our beds, and it's approaching final season, so you gotta excuse us. This thing's pretty nifty. I put my hoodies on it just because I didn't take up much space in the closet, just because there's only 3. And also, out of note, there is a dresser with only 2 drawers. So we gave that dresser to the person who got a full closet. So I don't know, you know, it's just about compromise with your roommates. But yeah, I keep my hoodies there. I have an ottoman. It's just kind of sitting there. You know, I charged my stuff on it. But yeah, that's really its only purpose, to be honest. Oh yeah, I forgot, but these desks also have like these little slide out drawers, which you can use for, I don't know, like a keyboard or whatever you want, to be honest. But my desk for some reason came with a locking mechanism, so I hide all my, I don't know, like protein bars from my roommates, because obviously they don't steal from me, but just be safe. I don't think there's anything else to talk about the room in particular, so it's just another tip or so. These hooks, they're gonna be useful. I got these for maybe $8 for a pack of 4. As you can see on the back of these dressers, you can hook them. So if you have a setup where these dressers like aren't flat against the wall and you have some space, you know, I hang a bag, towel, you know, my shower stuff, and then, you know, all the dressers have those holes for, I think it's to move your stuff and to make it easier for moving, but I ended up just using it to hang up there. And you know, as you can see from my roommate, he hangs his suit from up here, which, you know, you gotta make do with what kind of space you have. So
okay,
yeah,
so the bathroom. So here are the sinks. Got 3 of them. There's the dryer. You don't get paper towels, and then there's the full-size mirror. Not exactly what I'm trying to show here, but so here's one of the complaints I had, is that all the drains end up going to one drain in the bathroom. Then, as you can see here, what happens with the shower curtain is that whenever you use hot water, it kind of like, it goes upwards towards you, and then it kind of like touches your ankles. It's kind of nasty. I feel like this could be easily counteracted with some weights at the bottom. I've seen some shower curtains that like the gym use that, and other places, and then I'm just showing how close the lip is here to the shower curtain. And then they have signs that you should always leave it inside the shower, but due to the nature of these shower curtains, they always lift up and water always ends up coming out, and then there's no drain inside these little individual shower things. So yeah. And then what I'm showing here is kind of like the showering experience in general, because if you can take a look, there's nowhere to put your stuff, like your shower stuff. There's no like indent in the wall or anything. And then there's also kind of these gaps, and if you're tall enough you can look over. So yeah, here, yeah, I'm just demonstrating that there's nowhere to put your stuff. It's kind of inconvenient. It's really inconvenient actually. At least there's a towel hook there. But yeah, that's all about they give you. And then I don't know if I show it in this video, but yeah, so what I ended up doing is just putting it on the floor for the first semester. Or you could also just bring your toiletries into the shower, but that's pretty inconvenient if you have a lot of stuff like me. But what I did was I brought one of these hooks and I put it on the bar, and then I just put my bag up on that hook, and then put it like behind the shower curtain so that, you know, it's off the floor but I still have access to it. That's kind of what I did. And then yeah, there's no hooks to put your clothes for after you're done showering. Then here's the personal bathroom. It's always a mess in here, to be completely honest. This next part. Yeah, so just one of the showers being broken. And this didn't happen too often, but just pretty inconvenient. And then another complaint that I had was that the automatic toilet flushers didn't work, and that led to, you know, non-hygienic people just not bothering to flush the toilet, and there just being dumps left in the toilet for days sometimes. And I just thought that was funny. And then last thing of note is that there is no urinals, so there's always pee on the toilet seats in a guy's dorm. So yeah, just inconvenient.